Hi everybody, good evening. My name is Alan. On behalf of the crew of the show, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, anybody who's watched the show before know we talk about, and we have guests who talk about and bring you the experience of what we call the oneness, dedicated to the oneness, an experience of the one love, the one truth, the one God, the one place where separation doesn't exist, the one place where division doesn't exist. And again tonight we have women who have come and have traveled the world bringing that experience, that joy, that connectedness to the one, to as many people as they can reach. I mean, one does it in her way and the other does it in her way, but the experience is of that truth, is of that love. And tonight we're just tremendously honored to have with us Griscom, who's an internationally acclaimed spiritual teacher, healer, and visionary. She is the founder of the Light Institute of Galisteo and the Nizhoni School of Global Consciousness. She has been one of the foremost leaders in the New Age, if we can use those terms. Her books are just seminal works in growth and experience. She's written a new book, it's called Soul Bodies. I'm sure we'll talk about that. That talks about the acceleration of this time, the acceleration coming into the millennium, to the year 2000, and what that means for all of us here on planet Earth. She wrote a book, Ecstasy is a New Frequency, that I know has changed tremendous numbers of lives. And she also wrote Time is an Illusion. She has videos, Windows to the Sky, An Ageless Body. I mean, she's just an extraordinary being, and she's come all the way. Actually, she flew in from India yesterday, and the Galisteo Institute is in Galisteo, New Mexico. So we're just honored to have Chris with us today. So, and also we have a sacred dancer who also is internationally known and renowned, who's an instructor and a performer of sacred dance. She facilitates sacred dance workshops throughout the world. And these workshops, again, are on focusing and anchoring the spiritual essence into that truth, into that self-acceptance, into that love. And Estara is just, she's in Santa Barbara. I think she's moving to another place soon. She just came from another place. So we're lucky to have her with us as she passes through, because her work and her movement and her toning brings that experience again for all of us to experience and to share. So as we normally do at this time, to set a tone for the show, please join me in a short meditation. Just try to close your eyes, relax. If you know a meditation technique, do it. If not, just follow your breath. Just relax. Whatever you did today, it's gone. Be here, be with this show tonight, and I think you'll have an experience that's really worthwhile. So please join me. Thank you. And we're going to start tonight's show with a sacred dance by Estara called Invocation of the Feminine. So whenever everyone's ready, Estara, please. Hi, welcome. Thank you, Estara. That was beautiful. We're here with Chris Griscom on the set. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
So happy to be here, Ellen.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So why don't you just fill people in who are not so familiar with your story? I mean, how did you become like involved in spiritual work and make it your life's work to heal, to help heal the planet and all?
I think it's all of our life's work, and what I would
not everybody recognizes.
What I'd rather say is that if we could all discover that our thoughts and our feelings affect the planet. There's so many points in my life that began a new opening to being visible, because that's the key, in saying, I want to speak out, or I want to give something off, because all of us want to give peace and joy to this planet. But I had an experience when I was 20 in the Peace Corps in which a baby died in my arms, and it threw me into the conversation of what's the purpose of our lives, and life and death, and the fact that consciousness is beyond body. And that opened for me all of those dimensional spaces that forced me, in a way, to reevaluate what could bring joy and what had purpose. So I got a little cosmic boot, and we all get cosmic boots. And I had to move from that into this world. And
then when that happened to you, that's when you started doing the acupuncture, acupressure that led you.
Well, I was willing then to say, I want to participate in your health. I want to participate in your joy. I want to belong to this planet, because I think most of us in the tradition of E.T. have said, I don't belong here. This can't be my fate. This is not my family. And so at some point we all have to understand that the human family does belong to us. We are part of it.
How can we not be part of it? I mean, once you have a certain experience, but I mean, it is, until you have that, it seems separate. I mean, we talk about that, yeah.
Well, that's why I love that you talk about the oneness, because we've been trained to think about the separation, the difference, instead of the oneness. And to connect with the oneness, we must find a place that's full inside, and then extend out from that place to be willing to receive and to give on a different level, a different kind of measurement. Not I give to you and then what do you give to me, but I receive from the cosmos, therefore I can't help myself but to participate in your life and to understand that what happens to you happens to me. That's the key.
The connectedness.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
So, I mean, and what steps, when did you start the institutes, and how did all this happen that, you became, did you start writing books first, or how did that work?
I did. I began writing, and I can't remember when, 84 or something like that.
And I could barely remember that 2 days ago. So
it's all that kind of blur, but through the writing, it allowed me to then have a voice. And we each have a voice in a different way. And some people have a voice by just smiling at someone, and they don't realize that their smile changes somebody's life.
Well, we think of things in such a gross way. It's like vibration. So I mean, if you're feeling love here, you're changing the whole universe.
That's right.
But we don't recognize that. It's like, what have you accomplished?
But the reason we don't recognize that, again, is that we're waiting for the world to say, yes, you have it. We give you permission to be visible, rather than letting go of the conversation of visibility and coming back to, like a child, what do I want to give? I want to give you my smile, or I want to be in the world with you. And so as we enjoy that, it becomes easier, rather than measuring, will someone notice me? At my Light Institute, one of the things that's very important in training facilitators of consciousness is that they're willing to be invisible to the degree to which they let somebody else be center stage, let somebody else explore their lives. And if you can do that, if you can be a Johnny Appleseed, then I think that you'll be much more peaceful, rather than always saying, did you notice that I had good intentions? Because our good intentions are not, they're there and they're not there.
Right. There are very few words I can say, like I talk about love and, loving somebody. It's like if love involves selflessness, then very few of us are even capable of it.
That's right. One of the things that I learned in the Peace Corps was you must understand that you're doing it for you. And as you do that, you realize that you're full. And so you can actually afford to let somebody else be right, to let somebody else be the star, to let somebody else be, again, center stage. So actually, what I think is true is that our life happens to us. We don't have to go out and make something happen. You know, an institute happened to me. The place that I live said, I want to be an institute. It's a very old home. I want people to come here and to laugh and cry and be born here and all of those things. And so
And
it
you
just
just
began
kind of
to
went
occur.
along with it.
Exactly. Same with the school, same with all of my stuff. I just wander about letting life happen. My higher self says, use life. I had 6 near-death experiences, and so I've learned that tomorrow isn't very relevant, but I'm having a great time here with you right now.
Right. Yeah, I know what you
Use
mean.
life.
I mean, it's interesting because everyone's here today and gone tomorrow in that
That's
sense.
right.
It's just which day. So, I mean,
That's
let's
right.
all enjoy today, you know.
Right.
But, I mean, you know, we talk about this a lot, but, I mean, I think all the spiritual paths and all the tools are to bring you into the moment.
That's
And
right.
that's where life exists and that's where everything exists.
That's right.
And that's basically what all your books through one spoke
Yes.
on the wheel come to.
Right.
And that's basically the whole work of the Institute and the school and all
Right.
that.
The conversation is, you already have it. You know, spirituality isn't something that you can buy
You're
or
made
sell.
of, right.
You're made of it, you're born with it. And so what's happening on the planet is that new energies are coming and they're pushing us all to find more solutions or a more sense of life or a more connectedness than we had before. And that's what's so exciting about being alive at this time. It's a great time.
It's a fantastic time.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's in a way, I mean, I was seeing it, you know, we get calls from all over. There's a lot of intensity around. You probably do too. That
Yes.
people go through a lot of stuff.
That's right, especially right now. But if we can just greet that with some kind of inner smile, because it's all a process of letting go of what doesn't serve humans at this time and
ultimately
finding the
doesn't
strength
serve us,
inside.
of course.
Of course.
Right.
But to
Individually.
really discover what we have inside, because it's fantastic. Again, I just came back from India and I can look in the eyes of someone, whether they're begging in the street or they're some high official, and I can see that divinity, that spark of life that's there beyond the sense of the self. And so we need to ignite that in a way in each other, that recognition that life is sacred. And we must live it for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we, when we talk about, doing the show and what it's about, it's like putting out a vibration of love, and then whatever path people take, when that's lit. And that's, when I started looking through your work, I mean, that was the experience I got, is that's what she's trying to do.
Yes.
Now, you use a lot of different ways of getting there, using the ageless body,
Right.
But it doesn't
It's all
matter.
irrelevant.
It's all irrelevant.
It's all irrelevant.
Right.
And what I think is very important for people is to understand that not to live our lives, with talking heads, not to live with the concepts, but to realize that love is an energy, ecstasy is an energy, joy is an energy, giving is an energy. It's not just a thought form.
And it feels fantastic in
Yes,
the
it
human
does.
body. That's what's great about it.
And so we want to, all of my books are about finding the tools to discover inside yourself. What does the feeling of love feel like? How do you experience it right this moment? Often I give a class in ecstasy at my school, and it's very important for them to experience that they can access ecstasy right at this moment. And what it is for you right now will be something different a half an hour from now or tomorrow. But the moment that you're willing to say, let me be ecstatic, and I use ecstasy a lot because it helps us to disconnect from the separation. The very energy of ecstasy is inclusion. It's being part of the cosmos, so much so intensely so, that you forget your individual self.
Right. It's
And
bigger.
so it's bigger.
Right.
And we're all so much bigger than we think we are.
Right. Yeah, that's the amazing part. But until you experience that, you don't know that. Then you're, male, female, this religion, that religion.
That's
and
why,
that's when you have all the holy wars. And
yes, exactly. I think that's why at the Institute we began with the exploration of multi-incarnations. The incarnations of the soul. The soul moves us through our infinite lifetimes so that we can get over ourselves without being male or female or American or rich or
it is
poor,
so
fat,
silly.
thin.
I mean,
You have been all those things that you resist.
Right.
And all of those things that you desire are already in here. And so we must come home to the self And we have to do that experientially, again, not by our talking heads.
So if someone was to come, now what type of people come to the Institute and what type of people come to the school? I mean, are they younger people, older? I mean, how does it work?
No, they cross all barriers. The school and the Institute are international because I've had the great fortune of having my books translated into about 13 languages. So they're very global. And their appeal. It doesn't matter what someone does. It matters that someone is saying, I have to know it. I have to feel it. It's there in me and I don't know how to get it. And so they come to plug into themselves, let's say. We don't do it for them. We don't do any fancy techniques. When I was 15, I started with hypnosis for incarnational energies, and then I went to classical music and massage, and then I went to golden acupuncture needles, and then everybody said, just give me the golden acupuncture needles and I'll find my higher self. So I had to give up all of the techniques and say, no, the self is within you. Take a moment and make that connection. And then whatever you're asking about in your life comes to the surface, because the mind of the cell holds everything. And so you already have that. And as you begin to ask the questions, it unfolds for you. And that's what ripples out and changes your life. We don't have to struggle to change our lives. We can let life come to us from a place of what we call soul centering. You know?
But wouldn't you say that is like you could describe that as a certain faith, and that has to be, in a way, has to grow?
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, because what I've discovered is, and I love to work with the ones who don't have faith, like, for example, someone who is very intellectual or a scientist or somebody like that.
I don't mean faith in a traditional sense, but faith in the experience, that the experience is there, that joy is there, that ecstasy is there.
Well, once you experience it, you don't even need the conversation of faith, because it's true for you, because it's there. It's only afterward that we say, is it enough? Was it real?
Can it only happen at the Institute when Chris is there? I mean, isn't that one?
I'm irrelevant at the Institute. And that's what I love.
Well, or in other words, at the Institute, when all these other people are around, can I experience that at home with my family, at my job?
That's the whole point.
Right, I know that's the point, but I think that's where, that people will have faith that really that is what happened after a while.
You see, once they connect to their own higher selves, and they have that kind of experience, they realize how free they are. And they know that they can be doing it while they're driving their cars. We're multidimensional. I can be talking to you and listening to the global arena at the same time, for example.
Is it any more interesting? No. No.
We don't need to distract ourselves. What's necessary at this moment is to actually go deeply inside and find that everything is there. Everything is there. If people only understood that they are better than any movie,
their lives are better than
their lives, their thoughts, their feelings, the little whimsical things, the little flutter at the edge of their consciousness that allows them to see the bird pass or the star, that says, yes, I'm a part of that. Somehow it's about me, because it is.
So, I mean, do you have any, you said you've eliminated most of the tools and techniques, but people come there and something happens.
Yes,
right.
A lot happens.
Right, a lot happens.
It happens through them. And we have developed what we call exercises in consciousness, which you use mostly at the Nizhoni School for Global Consciousness, so that
and
people
you describe some of them in that tape, Windows to the Sky,
That's right.
Part 1 and 2.
Right.
I've only seen one, so
yes,
it's only half finished. No.
That at any second, for example, you could say, and we use the body because one of the things that I've discovered is that most of us are not in our bodies. And so, of course, our bodies cry out to us, and they hurt, or they have a flicker of ecstasy and then depression. So if we can get into the body, into all of our subtle bodies, if we can bring that divine energy into us, we feel joyous. So, for example, you could, right now, as we're chatting with each other, if we said, and maybe all of you can do this at this moment, where am I holding joy at this moment in my body? And just kind of listen inside and let your body tell you. You might feel a little twitch someplace, or you might see a part of your body, you might hear, the joy is in my cheeks at this moment. And then you go into that place in your body, wherever it is for you. For example, where was it for you? Did you try it? Where's joy in you right now, Alan?
I'd say in here.
Great. So now, just bring your consciousness right into here and let your body give you that sense of joy. What does it feel like to you? Or what color is it? Or what's its vibration? You can know all these things.
Mm-hmm.
So describe for us what that joy is right now. What do you get?
I would say it feels like peace or love.
Beautiful. So it's a very deep energy. So then, connecting to that peace or love, you can let every cell, the trillions of cells in your body, record that sense
memory.
of peace, that energy. It's not really memory that's happening right now,
Right.
but to imprint it. And then again, you radiate joy. So I come into contact with you, and suddenly I might feel a little flutter in my heart or a little
Because
peace
of the
there.
vibration of it.
Because of the vibrational exchange that's occurring between us, and because you're sitting here in front of millions of people, they will perceive that. One of the things that I discovered about television is you can actually see somebody's auric field, their energetic energy, more clearly than you can when you're sitting with them, because of course television divides
All
us
the
into
lines.
a trillion little lines.
Right.
And so it's easy for the energy that we're carrying to leak out into the world. What a gift,
It's amazing, isn't it?
isn't it?
It really is fantastic. So I guess maybe we'll take a break now and go to Estara's second set. She's going to do a sacred dance, celebration of the spirit in form, and it's going to be performed by Estara. So whenever we're ready, Estara, celebration of spirit in form.
Why use dance and movement? Because we are here on the planet in physical form, and movement, dance, and sound are tools that we can use to experience on a very profound level, experience in form our spiritual essence. And so they help to bring us deeper into an awareness and a connection with ourself, and a deeper connection with our bodies. And so it brings us, the movement and the dance, it helps to bring us into the present, and into the now, and into the moment, and into the connection with the earth. So what happens is it begins to bring us out and down from the mental realm, out of our heads, and into our bodies, and into our feelings, and into our senses. And so that we begin to open up and experience our natural rhythm and flow. The earth's energy is feminine, and we all have both male and female energy within. And as we open to embrace the energy of the divine feminine, we are actually coming into greater balance of our own inner male and female energy. Feminine energy is the energy of acceptance and love and nurturing and open. It's receiving and expansion. And it is that energy that allows us to really feel on a very deep level our emotions, and to really become in our bodies in a very deep awareness of that experience and what that really means. And so as we start to use movement and dance and begin to embody the divine feminine energy, what happens is we begin to release old patterns that have kept us from expressing our truth and our light and our freedom and our ecstasy, that have kept us from being in the absolute direct experience. And so the feminine is allowance and acceptance, and it grants honor to all. The honor of who we are in this moment now, the honor of who we've ever been and who we will ever be. And in this honor, it opens up a flow for things to move through, such as fears and tensions and anger and worry and sorrow and joy. And expressions are accepted and transmutated in the energy of the feminine. It is the essence of freedom to love and trust ourselves. And it is the feminine energy that opens us to embrace and embody the unconditional love and acceptance for ourselves. And it is this acceptance that sets us free. So we can use dance as a prayer and as an embodiment and as an expression of this energy, and allow it to be a healing force for ourselves and for the planet. And so I'll begin with a mudra sound prayer as we celebrate spirit in form.
Okay, what you see now is we do a flyer every week for Bridging Heaven and Earth and the guests that come into town and are going to be on the show. And this is the one for this week with Chris and Estara, and we use different pictures and flyers, and we scan it in and then we do it. And we were going to do a show coming up later, and if anyone's interested, you know, they should let us know by email or call about whether they're interested of all the different flyers. I guess we've done about, this is the 71st show, and I guess we've done about, 65 flyers or something. So if anyone's interested, let us know, and we'll do a show where we bring out all the flyers and show them that way. So whenever you're ready, Sarah. Thank you, Estara. That was beautiful. So we're back on the set with Chris. So in your new book, Soul Bodies, you talk about the accelerated consciousness happening. Do you think it's because, you know, in essence, because of the year 2000 and the new millennium and all that, or is it just happening?
Well, I think there's a wonderful synergy and synchronicity between the fact that we're coming up to the end of a time and a beginning of a time. Many of our appointed dates are kind of created by our own focus of energy in there. But because of the sunspots and because of the meteor showers and all of the ancient traditional groups of people have said, at this moment, this synergistic moment in the cosmos, something new is coming forth. We can really palpate that. We can feel that. What I think is coming up is that there's a seeding that's taking place of humanity from higher octaves. And so that which does not support our human genetic energy right now is being lifted off, and it's freeing us. So my work is very much about what we call psychogenetics, which is to look within the genetic coding through the spiritual genetics and the emotional genetics as well as the physical genetics to find out who we are. So we're having wars right now. We're having tribe against tribe. Why? Because we cannot go on as a species on this planet with the illusion of tribe against tribe. It doesn't fit our reality, our physical reality. So there is an activation.
Isn't it surprising that it fitted this long, almost? I mean,
well, it didn't. We just ignored it for a long time until it came to the brink, whereby it's either dissolve it, release it, or the two-leggeds disappear from the planet. You know. So yes, it is amazing that we still exist, carrying all of that. But what's wonderful is to truly experience that we are not going to carry that. It is being lifted out of our genetics, and we are doing that. We are awakening. And I think that's very exciting, and it doesn't mean you have to do anything special. It doesn't mean that you can't be part of, you know, the business community or the scientific community. It is something that's happening between humans and our solar system, as well as humans on this planet. And all we have to do is to participate and become aware.
Actually, some people have said that what used to go on, the energies and the vibrations that used to go on in like the holy sites or the temples, the high Egyptian temples, the whole planet has experienced the frequency now.
You know, nature has given me a little message, and I wrote about it in this Soul Bodies book, which was to say to humans, you don't have to go to a sacred site. Sit down anywhere, even on a cement ground, wherever you are, and simply connect your consciousness into the Devic realms, into the Devic kingdom, and you will feel that link up that will help us to understand why the weather is as it is. You know, at the Nizhoni School, we call the rain. The Hopis of our area of the world have been calling the rain for 4,000 years. Or we whisper to the wind. It's always been something that humans could do. I like it because you have a sense of participating, because it either rains or it doesn't, you know. And so we need to find that sense of belonging again, that we have the right, that we can trust ourselves enough to participate in what's happening on the planet. So we don't have to go anywhere else. That you're here makes it sacred.
Right, and that's true for everyone at all times. At all times.
At all times. And of course, you know, again, each place has its specific little kiss for you. Like if every day you could imagine your ocean here in Santa Barbara, you know, or put your finger or your toe in it and perceive it as clear and clean, it would be so. We can transmute pollution and radiation and negativity in the same way we can call the rain. All we need to do is say, let me help. Let me belong to this.
But even on another level, I mean, if we felt it was our one with us or our brother and sister, we wouldn't do what we do to it to pollute it in the first place. So, I mean, it would work.
You see, the reason it happens is that we feel that individually we don't have the power, but we do. And that's what we have to learn. At this time in the planet, we're developing the capacity of working together. group consciousness. And we're very afraid of that.
Actually, yeah, I've been ranting on about, like, even in the spiritual community, how,
Yes.
like, collaboration is almost, you know, everybody's got the right way.
Right.
And so, I mean, even to as much as linking a website, you know, we can't, defile our website with linking it with Jesus is a, no, won't do it.
Anything
Can't do
but
it.
that.
Right, anything but anything, except collaboration.
We're going to have to give it up.
It seems like it to me.
We're going to have to give it up. We're going to get helped here. When Chernobyl happened, for me, it was like graduation day, because it said, what happens to you happens to me. What happens any place on this planet affects all of us. And so we're beginning to understand that collaboration serves us all, individually and collectively. And we don't need to be concerned that someone else won't have the same as we do. Here I have a 4-year divinity school. We give a Bachelor of Science in Divinity. We don't use the word God. We don't talk about our spiritual path, because there's so much pollution in our concepts there that we attempt to help people to focus on what can you express of that. It's so lovely, through dance, through sound, through light, through your breath. You make a difference. That's why you're here. And when you're finished, you won't be. I learned that from 6 near-death experiences. You can't get out until it's time, you know. So might as well come back into the body.
Cat-like, they're like kittens. You got 3 more lives to go.
Here I come.
Holy
Here I come. Absolutely.
So, I mean, for you, it's just an exciting experience day after day, just to see people coming and just with that hunger.
And to live with all of it, to live with, you know, all of our judgments, but to see ourselves beyond that. To really, as we say at the Light Institute, pierce the heart. Who are you, Ellen? Because you're somebody that I can know, and we can have that little touch, and that's what makes life so meaningful. So people come to the Light Institute and to the Nizhoni School of all ages, and they have a concept of themselves. And so what we do is we peel that away and we expand, and we allow the divine breath to reignite the sense of self in a different way.
So it's like from inside and outside.
That's right.
You break it down, and then the flame will burn it up.
That's right. We heal ourselves from the inside. Sometimes we heal ourselves by gesturing into the world, you know, simply to send a light, send a color to another person can bring you out of depression, because through your consciousness,
it takes you out of yourself, which is the only problem.
That's right.
It's the only problem you ever have. You.
Well,
the
not really you.
Right,
exactly. Just your illusion of you is there. And so it's wonderful to watch people, whether they're grappling with their struggling sense of selves, or their judgment, or their hatreds, or any of that, and watch them come to that experience of something that's beyond their judgment, that's okay, that doesn't need any entrapment, you know, or trappings.
It's perfect
just as it
unto
is.
itself.
Just as it is. It's good enough. That's what my higher self told me when I started writing, because you know, whenever you do something artistic, then it's a conversation of communication between you and the outside world, and so it's so easy to fall into, will they approve, will they like it? And my higher self from the beginning just cut that off from me and said, forget the masterpiece, just say whatever, do it for yourself, just put it out there.
And if anybody wants it, God bless them.
Exactly. But you do it for yourself.
There's a tremendous freedom in that.
There is.
Right. I mean, to not carry the weight of...
And humor. And great humor, because we get so solemn about spirituality, you know, and about how it should look and who we should be. And I've always enjoyed, I have 6 children, and they have taught me that you can fall on your face, and if you're holding yourself up, they will come and put a little hole in your balloon anyway, you know. And so we have to develop humor. That's how we really, truly experience, it's okay, we're all pretty funny.
Yeah, if you can look at it that way, you know, and see yourself as part of the play, I mean, it's a very funny play.
It's a very funny play. And all of us as a group, too, as we, you know, fumble around on our planet, and yet we're calling forth the whole cosmos, because we have something so unique. And it was, in a way, it was like an experiment that got away.
That's,
the human heart.
I just thought that, because what I always say, well, it's an unbelievable experiment that's going on.
That's right. That's right.
Just, and you can see it as an experiment, except the problem a lot of people have is that they don't see their own lives as part of it. So, everybody else isn't dope and pathetic and beautiful or anything.
Or whatever.
Or whatever.
Yeah. I always, for example, in exercises in consciousness, when someone is saying, I don't like that person, or they're projecting onto that person, I can't be anything because everybody else is more than me. I always say, what is it about that person? And then where is it inside your body?
Right, there's a seed of everything in all of it.
Whether it's beauty,
right. The worst
or
murderer,
humor,
the worst.
Exactly.
Right.
I worked with prisoners a lot, and I learned great things from them. That from the rapist and the killer is the divine spark, and actually truly the hunger to connect, to do something good. And sometimes that
it gets
they can't find
perverted
it
over time.
That's right.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty powerful.
So
I mean, every human being wants to love and be loved.
Yes,
period.
they do.
It's simple.
They
Really
do.
simple.
And we have to treat our children in a different way, because children want to help, and they're so powerful. We just let them, instead of seeing them as helpless and identifying ourselves through them, but actually upholding children, people who are dying. You know, I just got back from India, and people say, well, how could you stand it? What?
The weather? No. Like,
Look into the eyes of another being and see the dignity that cannot
even
be
if they're
destroyed.
right, even if they're begging on the street or starving or anything. Yeah, that
I
love
had a
is
few
there.
good laughs with some of the people begging on the street, you know, because we can get through that illusion. We truly can.
Yeah, I mean, the love is stronger than that, but it has to really be there.
There has to be an energy that radiates from you. It can't just be a word on your lips.
And so, in order for that to happen, there has to be enough experience. Like, you have to have rubbed up, the way I would look at it, the magnet of love enough, or the magnet of joy.
Well, any second will do. You know, that's the beauty, because we always think, again, the path, that if I pray enough, or if I discipline myself enough, or if I want to enough. No, you know, at any moment will do. It doesn't take yesterday or tomorrow. If right now, again, you can experience an energy of love, and we always see it in someone else. We always see someone, and then we feel that love for them. If we could just see ourselves and feel that love as something that's free, then we can pass it out. So any moment will do. You don't need to wait until you're perfect. You're perfect now. So you can just say, what's the energy of love? Oh, that's what it feels like. It may feel like passion, or it may feel quiet. You know, it can feel like so many things, but it is an energy, and once you embrace that energy, it's yours to give. It's your power. It's your consciousness.
And do you find, like, people like all over the world really coming to that more, that there is that acceleration, that, that that your books are really touching people, and just the whole energy is changing, and people are being touched.
The beauty is that we humans have this exquisite gift, this human gift. It's the human heart. It radiates out into the cosmos. And so we can link up through that in any moment. You know, whether we read a word, or we feel an energy, or we make a gesture, it's irrelevant. It's consciousness. Behind it all, it's consciousness. And so you can choose. You have the power to choose at any moment to be a part of the love, you know, and you don't have to call it love.
Actually, you are part of it. It's just how do you get to that recognition, or to have that recognition?
You get to the recognition by choosing it inside yourself. Where's the love in me in this moment? What does it feel like? How do I perceive it? You know, and then the trick is, of course, and this is a little cosmic giggle for all humans, is when you hold it out and then say, oh, please take my love, you're likely to get some of that, you know, because once you give it, you have to let go of it, and not say, well, did you notice that I gave you love, you know, or do you want my love, or give me some back,
right.
You know, because as soon as you're engaged in that,
yeah, I know. Then you're
in
game
karma.
Again.
You're going to get a little lesson there. So it's much easier to just experience it and then
just let it overflow from within.
That's right.
Right. So I guess, you know, the show's coming to an end. I mean, they always go so fast, and it's just an amazing experience. So If anybody wants any information on Chris or Estara when they're doing workshops, about their books, where to get them, about the school, about the Institute, please call me anytime, 805-687-2053. We're just honored, you know, to have Estara and Chris with us tonight, and we're honored to have you guys with us. And I just again want to thank you for all the calls and the information and the emails and everything that we get from you that inspires us to do more and to try to bring all the guests that we do to you. So good night, God bless you, and come again, please. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.